listening, reading, writing, and speaking sessions. Now let me do it like this. Yes. First, what is IELTS? IELTS stands for International English Language Testing System. So the test is same at everywhere. It will be same in Istanbul, it will be same in Dubai, it will be same in Mumbai, it will be same everywhere. We have two types of IELTS test. First one is IELTS Academic and second one is IELTS General. Um, you can decide which one to take, which exam to take based on your purpose of taking the exam. If you want to go to university, you want to do postgraduate, or you want to go to university in an English speaking country, you should take IELTS Academic. If you are seeking to go to um, if you want to immigrate, or if you want to go to secondary education in an English speaking country, you should take IELTS General. Yes, let's see what is happening before the exam. You should book your IELTS exam at least 3 months before the exam, because there can be some changes and you need some time to prepare for the exam. So if you decide to take the IELTS exam, please book your IELTS exam at least 3 months before the exam. You can go and get familiar with the exam center, so when the day comes, you won't get too excited, so you will know the details, and it can maybe reduce your stress level, and it can make you more relaxed. This is not same for every test center, but you should be careful, and you should bring for all of them your ID, your identification document, your passport, or things like that, so they should know that it is you. You can bring a pencil and a pen if you are taking the paper-based exam, or if you are not to take notes, you can take a pencil and a pen. Some centers will give you that, and some centers can give you an eraser too, but there is nothing wrong with being extra cautious for me. And we recommend you to bring a transparent bottle of water. They will only accept that transparent bottle of water. Except than that, they won't take anything. Yes, there are 4 parts in IELTS exam. First, listening. It will be same in every exam. First, as the first one, you will see listening, then you will do reading, then you will do writing, then you will have speaking. That speaking, it can be 7 days before, it can be at the same day, or it can be 7 days after that first 3 session, listening, reading, and writing part. But you will take listening, reading, and writing at the same section, and it will last for 2 hours and 45 minutes. Then you will take your speaking exam, and it will last for 11 to 15 minutes. It depends on the performance, it depends on the day. As I said, you can take speaking at the same day, or 7 days before or after the exam. The reason for it is, in the speaking exam, you will do it with an examiner. So it depends on the examiner's suitability, and it depends on your city actually. And if you have any questions, by the way, you can write it at the chat part, or you can, if you want, we can raise your hand and I can answer your questions. Yes, let's start with listening. Listening part lasts for 40 minutes. It has 4 sections, and in total, you will be asked 40 questions. So, in each section, there are 10 questions. And these audios and the questions will get difficulty while you are processing while at the process. So the first one will be the most easiest one, and the last one will be the most difficult one. Yes, in IELTS listening, IELTS academic, and IELTS general are same. So whether or not you take the one or the other, it will be same. You will hear the audio only once, so while you are listening, you should you should answer the questions. You won't hear the audio again. In the audio one, you will hear a dialogue on a daily subject, so it can be 2 up to 4 people. And audio 2, you will hear a monologue. One person will be speaking on a daily subject. Maybe they want to arrange a holiday. They want to hire a car. They want to get information about a clinic or something. And it can be most probably it will be like a phone call. In the audio 3, you will hear a monologue about an academic subject, and on the audio 4, you will hear a monologue again about an academic subject. Maybe a professor will be giving some information uh, on um, on an university level, giving a lecture to someone, informing someone. So the questions will be, the audios will be like this. And you will come across different types of questions in one audio. For example, let's say in the part one, first you will fill out a form, then you will have multiple choice questions, and in the audio two, you will have like summary completion questions, flowchart questions, and so on. Let's see the differences between computer-based and paper-based exam. In the computer-based exam, you will hear the voice with an earphone. You will be in a relatively smaller room. You will be in your cubic. You will be listening to the audio and you will be answering your questions. You directly answer on the screen. You will select it with your mouse. You will do the exam, and you can see number of each question at the bottom of your screen. So when you have finished your listening part, you can go back to that question and revise your answer. And let's say you couldn't hear it, you couldn't answer it, but you can go in the end, you can go to that question and you can make an educated guess. So you can guess it from the listening, from the audio part, then and you can write, and we advise you not to leave any questions blank, because you won't lose point if it is wrong, but you can gain a point, you can make a point if you answer it correctly. And check your spellings, revise your questions always, and then continue with the reading part. In the paper based exam, you will hear the voice from a recorder in a relatively crowded room. So if you can't hear it, please raise your hand and tell it to the examiner, so so they can find a solution. Maybe there can be some problems or something. And because this is very important for you to hear the audio, because it will be only played once. In the paper-based exam, first you will write your answer on your exam paper, then you will transfer your answer to the answer sheet. It can be an opportunity for you to revise your answers and revise your spelling, and you will have 10 minutes for this process, for the transfer your answer to your answer sheet. I hope everything is going well for now. Yes, after that, you will be done with your listening part. Then you will continue with the reading part. In the reading part, you will have 60 minutes. You will have three sections. As you proceed, they will get difficult. First one will be the easiest one, and the third one will be the most difficult one. In total, there are 40 questions. So for one paragraph, for one section, you will have like 13, 14 questions or something. Yes. And in the reading part, IELTS Academic and IELTS General are different. Let's see how different are they. In the IELTS Academic, you have three long passages. They are academic materials for the university level, but it is for like general knowledge. For example, let's say uh, production of olive oil, history of pencil, things like this. And in the IELTS general, you will again have three sections. However, in the section 1 and 2, you will have much more, you will have shorter texts. Let's say in the section 1, you have one short text, and in section 2, you have two short texts. And in the section 3, you will see one long passage. In the IELTS general, reading part is shorter and easier than the academic reading passages because they are much more shorter. In the reading part, you should focus on your reading and you should focus on your questions. In the reading part, the most challenging part is like time, managing your time. So you should, in your time management, should be very good for to achieve the reading part. Let's see the differences between computer-based and paper-based exam in the reading part. You can see in the computer-based exam, you can see the timer on the top of your screen and it will tell you how much time is left. And you can see questions and the passage at the same window. Let's say the passage will be here and the questions will be here. So you will be able to see the passage and the questions at the same time. You will just scroll down and up with your mouse again. You can highlight the keywords with your mouse. If you think that you have found that keyword or something, you can highlight the keyword. And luckily, copy and paste options work. You won't write a full sentence in the reading passage, but you can have some like summary completion questions, sentence ending questions. For these ones, you can copy from the text and paste it to the questions so you won't make spelling mistakes. In the paper-based exam, the examiner says how much time is left. You will see a clock on the on somewhere too, but an examiner will say when you have 10 minutes is left, when you there are 5 minutes is left, and when 1 minute is left. Again, you will have an exam paper. You will answer it on your exam paper. Then you will have time to transfer your answer to the answer sheet. In this part, you won't be given additional time, so you will do it in the 60 minutes. 60 minutes. And in this one, you will use a pencil to highlight. You can find your own technique. Maybe you can do some zigzags. You can underline it 2 times so you can differentiate it in itself. Yes. Now, let's look at the band scores and band scores criteria. In the IELTS academic, if you get, let's say, Our aim is band 7. So to achieve band 7, you should do 30 questions correct in the IELTS Academic, 34 questions correct in the general reading, and for the listening part, IELTS Academic and IELTS general is same in this one. If you do 30 questions correct, you will get 7 band score. Our aim should be 7 or higher because universities and some some countries, English speaking countries, accept generally 7 or above score, but it can differ, of course, from country to country, from university to university. You should check it beforehand. Yes. In the writing part, again, you will have 60 minutes. There will be 2 sections and 2 questions. In the section 1, you will have 1 question, and in the section 2, you will have 1 question. And in the IELTS writing, IELTS academic, and IELTS general are different. They are not the same. In the IELTS academic, in the task 1, you will be asked a summarization task. It will be based on an image or a chart. For example, you will be given some data, and you should summarize it somehow in your writing. So it won't ask you to anything. It wants to just test your summarization skills. You should write at least 150 words. Uh, this is the minimum. You can write as many as you want, but you won't get any points because of this extra words. We advise you to write like 200 words or something, and not to go upper than that, because it just raises your risk to make mistakes. In the IELTS general, in the task 1, you are going to write a letter. It can be formal, informal, or semi-formal. It can be maybe written for a government something, or to a school to get information, to some health things. It can differ from exam to exam. And again, you should write at least 150 words. In the IELTS academic, at the task 2, you are going to write an essay, and this essay can be about like anything, like, do you agree or disagree, what do you think about this, or what can be the cause of this, and what can be the solution, and some questions like this. They will be again about the general subject, that you can write on it, that you can give an opinion, or you can write uh, your agree disagree opinions. In the IELTS general, at the task 2, you will going to write an essay again, and it should be at least 250 words. This part is same. They want you to write, and they want you to show your writing skill, show your organizational skill by writing your ideas and by collecting and inferring data. Yes, let's say the differences between computer-based and paper-based exam. At the computer-based exam, you will be typing on the computer, like with your keyboard, and it is easy to change because you can, let's say you have finished your essay, you will go back, and you want to change a structure, you want to change a word. So with your mouse, you can just click there, delete it, and rewrite your sentence. And you can see the word count at the bottom of your screen, so you won't have to count every word. In the paper-based exam, you are going to write with a pencil. So if you are used to writing with a pencil, if you are used to writing with a pencil, you can take the paper-based exam. It is difficult to change because you should delete it with your eraser, so you can, maybe you can damage the paper, or you can delete like the upper and below sentences or something. So it is much more difficult related to computer based exam. And you have to count the words yourself, so it can be a little bit challenging to you. We advise you to let's count the lines. Like let's see how many lines you have written, so you can just on average you can get something. And please write more than 150 words, and you will see, you will once you practice, you will see how many lines you should write for the paper in the paper based exam. Yes. In for the writing part, assessment criteria is coherence and cohesion. It means like linking words, how you organize your essay, and some things like that. Lexical resource, how is your word formation? Are you using the words in their correct places? How rich is your vocabulary? And for the grammatical range and accuracy, they are looking for your sentence structure, how many tenses you are used. Is it like are you using just one tenses, or like complex sentences and different tenses? And they will look for task achievement, the summarization achievement in the task 1, and your task response for the task 2. Is it all clear till now? How is it going? If you have any questions, you can ask me from the chat part and I will be answering them. Let me open the chat part from here too. Okay. Yes, let's see speaking. As I said, it lasts for 11 to 15 minutes. It has 3 sections. Section 1, you will see it in a minute. And in total, there are 15 to 20 questions. In the section 1, you will briefly introduce yourself, and it will be like question answer conversation. The examiner will ask you like small talk questions. The questions will be about you, your preferences, your habits, your family, your friends, your neighborhood. So it will be about you. In the section 2, it will be individual speaking. The examiner will give you a topic to speak on. It can be about an event, a place. It can be about people or a thing. So you will have 1 minute to prepare, and you are supposed to talk for 2 minutes. When your 2 minutes is finished, the examiner will stop you and says you that your time is up. So you will understand that you have spoken for 2 minutes. In the section 2, think of it as a deep conversation. The questions will be more philosophical. So this is the part, actually all of the parts that you can show, in all of the parts you can show your knowledge, but this is the part that you can touch to some philosophical subjects. Yes, the examiner will ask you 5 to 6 questions based on the topic given to you in part 2, but it can differ. Let's say in the section 2 you are asked about your neighbors, and in the part 3, for example, you can be asked about the buildings in your hometown, or you can be asked like how important the friendship in your hometown or something. Yes, and in this one, computer-based and the paper-based exams are same. It will be like one to the examiner will be in the room and you will be in the room and the examiner will ask you questions and take notes while you are speaking. And and when you have finished your speaking part, the examiner will say you the points and will give you your score, your speaking score. So you will get your results when you have finished the speaking section. But just for the speaking, for the others, I will say it in a minute. In the speaking part, assessment criteria is contains four criteria. They will assess your fluency and coherence, how you are connecting your idea. Uh, are you fluent? Are your thoughts clear? They will assess these ones. They will assess your lexical resource. Again, how you are forming your sentences. Are they in harmony? And so on. They will assess your grammatical range and accuracy. Are you using tenses correctly? Are you using like the linking words correctly? They will assess that. And lastly, they will assess your pronunciation, but they will assess like if you can pronounce the 26 letter of the alphabet, but they won't look for an accent, a specific accent. So don't worry about it. As long as you are clear, you will achieve the pronunciation score too. And each of these criteria contributes 20% of your total IELTS speaking score. Okay. Yes, as I said, universities usually require yet 7 band scored, but it can differ from university to university. You will take your results in 3 days if you take the paper-based exam, and 13 days if you take the paper-based exam. So there is like the 10-day difference between them. Um, Whether you take the IELTS on paper or on the computer, organizations require that you should be take the exam like in 2 years. If your results, if they are more than 2 years old, unless you provide an evidence that you have actively maintained or tried to improve your English since taking the exam, you should take the exam again. Yes. What is next? Let me see. We have talked about the what you should do before the exam, during the exam, what you be doing, and we have talked about the what results and the assessment criteria and so on. From now on, you should practice because this is a very structured exam. So there are some types of questions, question types, and there are some techniques. So you should practice these questions. You can join to our live lessons that we do every day. Actually, I have a lesson at in half an hour, and you can watch our videos from the classicals.com. We have videos and practice about every question type. Do you have any questions to me about the classicals, about the IELTS exam? while you are writing it. And I will be very glad if you can fill our post survey. Let me view it in the room so you can do it on the screen too. Yes, my name is Ms Cenk. If you have any suggestions for us, thank you very much for joining too. If you have any questions and recommendations to us, we will be glad if you can specify it in your survey. When you have completed the survey, you can leave. Thank you very much for coming. We have a lesson in 30 seconds. Thank you so much too. I'm expecting to see you in our listening session too.